The World Wide Web, a network that connects us all and is involved in almost every aspect of our lives. But did you know that trees also have their own Wood Wide Web? This vast, underground communications network is made up of small fungal threads that spread out across the forest floor. It's known as a mycorrhizal network. Tree roots only reach so far into the ground. They can only gather up so many nutrients, and because of this, they need a little help from their mycorrhiza friends. Mycorrhiza means fungus root. Underground, coming out of the stems of mushrooms, are masses of white threads that wrap around or penetrate the plant's roots. They're individually known as hyphae. Trees produce glucose as an energy source through photosynthesis. This energy can be shared through the mycorrhizal network, or wood wide web that lives in their root system. Without sugar, the fungi would not survive. These white fungal threads cast a broader net to gather resources than the tree roots do, so the two worked out a deal. Trees supply fungus with sugar, and fungus supplies trees with phosphorus, nitrogen, and water from the soil, among other things. But this symbiotic fungal network doesn't just supply trees with extra nutrients. It also serves as a massive network for trees to share nutrients with each other, nurture seedlings, and even warn others when under threat. These mycorrhizal networks can interlink with other trees, creating a two-way line of communication. Through this line, trees can share nutrients and water with their neighbors, and the neighboring tree can reciprocate. But some trees are more connected to the mycorrhizal network than others. These trees, called hub trees, are the oldest and tallest trees in the forest, and they use the mycorrhizal network to nurture their young. They can recognize and they actually favor their own seedlings. They colonize their kids with more mycorrhizal networks, send them their excess carbon, and even reduce their own root competition to make space for their kids. So we now know that mycorrhizal networks aid in sharing resources and helping seedlings, but plants also use a technique called allelopathy, which is when a chemical signal is sent through the mycorrhizal network. This allows plants to warn each other of impending threats. A study conducted on bean plants found that after a plant had been infested with aphids, it sent a warning signal through the mycorrhizal network to a plant nearby, which thereafter released a chemical signal that attracted the aphid's predator, the parasitic wasp. Okay, so plants are communicating with each other, which is pretty cool, but why does all of this matter? Well, given that plants can warn each other of threats, this does beg the question, could we use this as a tool to fight against agricultural pests and disease? Pesticides have been a huge part of increasing crop yields in the 20th century, but it's necessary to find alternative and more sustainable ways to improve food security. Unfortunately, there are still very large gaps in our research on this. More experiments need to be done in order for us to fully understand how we can effectively utilize mycorrhizal networks for this purpose. Mycorrhizal networks are a fascinating, under-researched topic that could have beneficial uses in our world. This just goes to show that not everything's been discovered. There's plenty out there to research and observe. We just have to take a closer look.